Rock that beat.
I apologize if this video comes out a little bit later than I would rather it have to, because at the time I'm recording this, it's about 6:30, almost 7 o'clock, and you know, I woke up late, and on top of that, I haven't been really doing anything much today, so I said to myself I was gonna watch My Hero Academia yesterday, and then rewatch it today, and then record today. But it didn't happen like the way I planned it to. So I just got done watching the episode. It's been a couple of minutes since I last, was sitting down in my chair and before I actually started recording, and now we're here. So I went into this episode not really expecting much, other than like maybe like a setup for like next week's episode, which it ended up doing that like by the time like the episode actually starts with the beginning part of the episode anyways, but it actually was a lot more interesting than I honestly expected it to be, because the way that the previews made the episode seemed out to be was a little bit different than what I was expecting. So basically in the previews from last week's episode, at the end of last week's episode, and what we see from this week is basically, those over who study at UA and all like the courses or whatever, all the students are, I guess, essentially in danger, and so they want to both keep the kids safer, and for long term, and keep a closer eye on them. So they created a whole bunch of dorms for most of those of the school, especially those at UA, because that's the main cast of characters that we see almost on a weekly basis. We see most of them on a weekly basis. But regardless, last week, what happened at the end of last week was a setup for, all the students moving into the dorms. So we continue that this week with them moving into the dorms near the school. But before any of that happens, we continue off where we left off last week, which was basically, All Might basically on his knees asking Deku's mother to have him be able to move into the dorms, so that way All Might can put his heart and soul into making Deku the best possible hero he could be and could potentially be in the near future, to the point where he could potentially be the next symbol of peace, like how All Might was before he had to permanently retire. And of course, if you saw last week's episode, you know that Deku is allowed to go because his mother reluctantly says yes, but he goes, and they continue on, and they explain a couple other stuff that wasn't explained from last week. But other than that, All Might leaves. Deku is getting ready to leave and go live at the dorms now. And something that I actually really like that they did is they showed off that now that the whole entire world knows what All Might is like, his true form looks like, he's not completely used to that. So he kind of like gets noticed by like two older women, I should say, not elderly, but older women. They notice him, and he like freaks out, and I thought that was like pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny because no one's really used to seeing All Might in this form, and he's not either. He's used to like hiding while in this form. So the episode continues on. Like I said, they showed like a little montage of the cast and the students, and they're ready to go live at the dorms. And the title of the episode is literally called "Moving into Dorms," so I thought that was pretty ironic. So the episode continues on. They show a little bit of flashbacks of what happened over the course of like the last like couple weeks, since what happened at the training camp and then all the All for One stuff that happened. So before they actually move inside the dorms, and they kind of show what it looks like from the inside, because they show us what it looks like from the outside, but then before they go into the inside, and those of Class 1A actually go in and start living there now, Mr. Aizawa, Eraserhead, and he points out the fact of the consequences that happened with those who went to go and save Bakugo, which was Deku, Momo, Kirishima, Ida, and is that it? That sounds like it's it. But yeah, it's all of them. Todoroki, right? I almost forgot about Todoroki. But all 5 of them went in to go save Bakugo. But the thing was is that they were told that they weren't supposed to. That's against the rules. And then he also asked if anyone knew about this plan and whether or not they were gonna go and do this. And a lot of them actually showed, that they thought that they knew that they were gonna go there. And it's everyone who basically wasn't knocked out by the gas from that one villain who was there at the training camp, and then Bakugo. But obviously Bakugo didn't know that because he was captured by the League of Villains, right? So essentially, what Mr. Aizawa would have done if the situation wasn't like the way it was is all of them besides like 3 of them, which is the chick who the chick who's invisible, the girl who has like headphone jacks in her ears, and then Bakugo. Those 3 would have literally, stayed, but everyone else would have been fucking kicked out. And I was just like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Jesus, but no, none of them get kicked out. They all, basically are allowed to stay there. It's just, they have to regain their trust, his trust basically, and those of, the other heroes at the school as well. So there are a whole bunch of consequences. So everyone's kind of pretty much on edge, and they're kind of ashamed for themselves. But completely out of character, Bakugo takes Kaminari, and he abuses the whole fact when he uses his electrification quirk. If he overcharges himself, he basically becomes retarded, right? He abuses that and uses that to make everybody laugh and smile, but also to distract him in the terms of, if you missed out, I guess this wasn't really an important detail, but for Bakugo, I guess it was. So Kirishima, before they went and saved Bakugo, he bought night vision goggles, and he had used his allowance to buy it. So Bakugo essentially just gives him back the money, that he spent for it. And whilst everyone was distracted by Kaminari and how stupid he is now because of his electrification quirk, I thought it was a fun scene, but I was just like, okay, that's really out of character for Bakugo. I thought that was really weird. So of course, the rest of the episode is basically them showing off the inside of, the dorms, and everybody's getting their own room, and then the entirety of the episode is basically everyone checking out everyone else's room. First it starts off with the girls wanting to check out the guys' rooms, and they immediately go to the first room, which is Deku's, and everything is just covered with All Might, and they even say that it's an otaku room, and I was like, God damn it! Why did they gotta fucking say it like that, you motherfuckers? But progressively through the rest of the episode, they go from, Deku's room, they go to Tokuyami's room, they go to, Momo's room, Ida's room. They go to everybody's room, essentially, but besides Asui and Bakugo. And Bakugo, he didn't really see an importance of, checking out his room, so they don't go inside, and plus he's asleep. And in Asui, this actually plays more of an important role in the end of the episode. And I'm going to go ahead and skip to that because, like I said, the rest of the episode is basically them just looking in the inside of their rooms and their personalities and stuff. And if you want to go check it out, and see what their personalities really are and like how and what they like and shit, just go and watch the episode. The episode's actually a lot of fun towards more so the half of the episode before the ending and after the beginning. And the episode's a lot of fun, but there are a lot of also important stuff that is mentioned, especially with Asui, and it's more explained at the end of the episode after they're done checking out the rooms and stuff. And Uraka basically asks Todoroki, Deku, Ida, Momo, and Kirishima to go outside and talk with Asui. And because if you missed out on the episode where Deku was in the hospital and they all went and checked up on him, Asui was talking about how if they went and tried to save Bakugo, it would be against the rules, and it would really show a villainous that seems like a really villainous thing to do. And she didn't want them to go. She wanted them to just leave it to the pros, and they went ahead and did what they did, and she said that she hardened her heart and said some pretty painful things, and she kind of feels bad for it. And it's actually kind of an emotional moment at the end of the episode on, because you know, it sounds like she's like crying, and then she actually is crying. She's like really sad. She's like really sorry for what she said. And then all the other characters are basically just feeling sorry for what they did, and they didn't mean to like worry her or anything, except Todoroki. Todoroki just seems kind of like whatever about it, but you know, obviously he does feel bad and he does apologize. But they all apologize to Asui. They feel bad. They just, and basically what they did in the episode was they not only, you know, continued on showing the repercussions of what those 5 students did, what the five of them did, and how the pros are seeing them as, and et cetera, et cetera. But they're also showing how, you know, all the other students were affected by it, because they just wanted to leave it to the pros. They wanted to leave it to those who could save Bakugo, and they didn't want their friends to get hurt, but they went ahead and did anyways. And regardless, they're fine, but they could have seriously gotten either really hurt or potentially killed. So it does show that the series does, you know, connect the characters together more and more. And I really like when they do that, and they show that, you know, the characters do have feelings and they do care about each other. And basically the rest of, you know, the episode and what there is left, obviously, but over time, of course, they just want things to basically go back to normal, and you know, they want things to be back to the way they were, where all of them can train together and they all laugh together, and you know, just be friends, and you know, act like how things were when they first started going to UA and Class 1A. You know, that's all they want to do. And the episode pretty much ends there. They show the credits, and then the previews basically explained to us as a viewer, of course, is next week's episode is going to be a little bit more action oriented, and in the sense of there was something that they had planned during the training camp, but I forget what they called it, but they had something planned while they were at the training camp, and it didn't work out because of all the League of Villains bullshit, right? So basically they're going to do it here at the school, and essentially what every single character in Class 1A has to do now is, you know, essentially create their ultimate move. And literally the episode is called Create Those Ultimate Moves. So that's what I'm assuming they're going to do. But obviously for Deku, it's going to be really fucking difficult for him, because he completely destroyed his fucking arms and shit during the whole Muscular versus Deku fight that happened, you know, almost soon after the whole League of Villains started attacking the training camp. So I don't know what they're going to have planned, especially for those other characters. For everybody else, it should be interesting. I'm really excited for what they have planned, and I just really want to see the episode, but unfortunately we have to wait until next week, and this will be probably the last time that I actually talk about My Hero Academia until then. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here, because I have nothing else to add on top of the episode. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like. If you are new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button for more videos just like this. I hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.